fog patches in low-lying areas. West-northwest wind today of 2 to 7 knots, veering to the northeast with the sea breeze. And this afternoon, some scattered cue.
On the 30th of June 1984, an era ended for the Royal Australian Navy. On that date, in accordance with government policy, Fleet Air Arm Tracker and Skyhawk aircraft ceased flying operations. The RAAF henceforth being responsible for fixed-wing air support of the fleet. To mark the end of this important era in Australian military aviation history, on the 1st of June, the Navy's 851 Squadron flew a farewell flypast over Canberra and Sydney.
Off runway 21. I've drawn it there as I'd like it to happen. I will go to starboard side of the runway. I won't take into consideration the crosswinds because we're going to have someone's going to wear the slipstream anyway. So I'll go to the far side of the runway. Let's lead it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we shall roll with a 10-second rolling spacing. So 10 seconds after I've rolled, number 2 roll, and so on down the line. Shouldn't be a problem off 2-1. If we go on to 2-6, well then common safety standards apply as usual. Get height on you. I don't want to see any spit-ass turns from 100 feet off the end of the runway. Okay? With this formation today, I expect that you will join expeditiously, but I don't want any fast joins and no prizes being there first. Logical, sequential join, but above all, keep it safe. Any questions on that? Hands for a right turn out over. So this one here, Russell Officers, about there. Take it back to the middle of a circle and up this way and out that way. Just to get some idea with Civic. Naturally, but still
took delivery of Grumman trackers in 1967. In those 16 years, trackers flew on a wide variety of tasks: coastal surveillance, rescue missions, fleet support and anti-submarine operations, to name but a few. These missions totalled more than 67,000 flying hours, with the aircraft operating from both land bases and the carrier HMAS Melbourne. It's a tribute to the air crews and maintainers that during the tracker's service life, only one aircraft was lost in a flying accident. Even more remarkable, there was only one fatality. These are statistics which reflect favourably on the outstanding skills of all concerned. The end of such a memorable era is a sad occasion. However, the demise of naval fixed-wing aviation doesn't mean the end of the Fleet Air Arm. The Navy's helicopter squadrons will continue to support the fleet in the best traditions of the service.
Six years later, and those same graceful seabirds have been reduced to this. Clipped of their wings, stripped of their engines, and sitting outdoors here at Nowra's HMAS Albatross. 18 sophisticated Grumman trackers, still worth $50 million, perfect for coastal surveillance, and yet left here to rot.
It's a very sad state. We argue that they should be kept for coastal surveillance. The trackers at least had radar, and they could fly on a 24-hour basis, day and night. I think it's not much of a deterrence if people know that your only overflights in the north are going to be in daylight hours. They pick their times.
Put it this way, if we can actually sell aircraft, we will.
It didn't occur to you to perhaps use them for coastal surveillance?
Yes, it did. I looked at that very carefully. But when you looked at the expense of the Grumman tracker up against what a civil aircraft cost you for coastal surveillance, off the top of my head, they were coming out at about 2 or 3 times as expensive as the Sky West operation, which is now run, for doing really essentially the same sort of task.
With the same radar capabilities?
Well, they don't necessarily all have the same capabilities, but they perform adequately and at 2 or 3 times the cost.
The government's argument is simple. Our Grumman trackers can't compete with private enterprise. And as for the Skyhawks, it's cheaper to lease them from the New Zealanders than fly them ourselves. Wouldn't it be nice if a politician could just admit once that he might have made a mistake?
Well, there wasn't any error.
Excuse me?
There is no error. I think we've done pretty well.